For chocolate chip cookies, start off with 150 grams of butter in a mixing bowl. It's nice and soft, and I'm going to whisk it up. Just needs a few seconds to make it creamier. Into that, I'm going to put 80 grams of white granulated sugar and 80 grams of soft light brown sugar. And I'm going to mix that until they're creamy and mixed together. So that's taken about a minute. Once it's nice and creamy, you're going to beat in the egg in the same way until it disappears. Once you get to this stage, you don't need your mixer anymore, so you can put that away. So you now need a metal tablespoon. You're going to have a scrape down around the edge first. Then I'm going to tip in 225 grams of self-raising flour. And that gets stirred in, cutting around the edges with your spoon. What you might find is you need to use a fork or another spoon just to scrape it off if it clogs up into your spoon. Once it's about half mixed, we're then going to start adding in your chocolate, or buttons or Smarties or whatever you're going to put in. So they can go in as a whole. I'm putting in 1 bag of choc chips and 100 grams of chopped white chocolate. It's suitable for cooking with. Keep mixing. This will take a little while to come together, and if you feel that it's not coming and it's too dry, don't be tempted to add water. What I would suggest is you then switch to using a fork and you squash it underneath the prongs of the fork. It will start to come together in about a minute. Make sure you're getting that mixed right to the bottom. Once you finish mixing it, it should be quite solid. It may be a bit softer depending on whether you use butter or a tub spread, but it could look quite firm and you can actually touch it and it doesn't make a mess. So use a scoop if you've got one. It helps with even sizing, but if you don't, you can just pick up a lump, roll it into a ball with your hands, and then that gets scooped onto a tray. I usually end up putting 5 on a tray because they do spread quite a bit, and this gives them plenty of space. If you've got a rectangular tray, 6 fits nicely. If you squeeze them together, they will spread into each other a little, which wouldn't matter because you can cut them apart while they're still hot. Put a flat hand and just press them down slightly. This helps to start them off with the spreading. They would then need 10 to 12 minutes cooking until they're spread and lightly golden. That will give you quite a chewy cookie. If you want them crisper like a biscuit, you'd cook them for a little bit longer. So that's taken 10 minutes for them to get to this stage, and I'm going to leave them on the tray to cool for a couple of minutes. Then you should be able to slide them off onto the cooling rack. When they're cold, they should still have a little bit of chewiness about them, and they should keep well for a good few days if you can keep your hands off them that long.